What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Oh my god, it's raining again. It's been raining for the past 7 days in Rome. It's actually insane. Anyways, Lecce tomorrow away. A very mangy game. I'm warning you, Lecce away has always been an extremely mangy, gritty game. The last game before the halfway mark. This is after this game. We'll be 50% done with our season, and you can draw some opinions right now. You can draw the balance even before this game, but this, in my opinion, the objective here is ending the 50% mark inside that top four. In order for that to happen, you need to win, and Juventus don't have to win. Juventus are playing against Sassuolo, which again, Sassuolo away is never easy, but Lecce away is never easy. And I think, we'll speak about it in this video, of course, but if you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we can get back going after some incredibly altalinating weeks. Hit that like, subscribe, of course, new year, new beginning, same old Roma. Where do we begin? Where do we begin? I think, generally speaking, the biggest thing to announce before this game is our defensive emergency. Mancini is suspended, Hermoso is suspended, and Ndika is at AFCON. So I predict both Ziolkowski and Ghilardi starting this game. They're young, they're gonna make mistakes, you can't crucify them after one mistake, but it's a very shaky defense. I think the back three will be Celik, Ghilardi, and Ziolkowski. Thank God we're playing against a team that does struggle when it comes to scoring, but when you have a shaky defense, they've got a very interesting player, Banda, very fast player. You know, it's always a bit of a, you always need to live the game when you're missing your key defenders with a bit of a oh god, what's gonna happen next? But that is definitely the most the biggest red flag of tomorrow's game. I think we'll pull it through. I would love. I can't think that we're not gonna win this game. All due respect to Lecce and Di Francesco, who have been a very gritty team this season. They got points last weekend. This weekend in Turin against Juventus. Even though Juventus deserved to win, they managed to pull it through. They managed to park the bus, get a point. I remember the Lecce-Napoli game. Any other game, Lecce would have not lost that game. And then who else did they play? When it comes to playing against the opponents that need to avoid relegation, they've always managed to get something. So I think, generally speaking, result-wise, I've been pretty surprised by Lecce, because I think on paper, Lecce are one of the worst teams in the league. Arguably the worst on paper, if you look at them. If you take Lecce on paper like this, their goalkeeper is the reason they're still relevant in this league. I don't know how they didn't get relegated last season. Last season, there was a period of time that Lecce was absolutely atrocious. This year, their main difficulties is scoring. There are times that Lecce can't even score their hands. But when they stick together, especially away, this has always been a gritty game, a mangy game. I can't remember, even if we travelled down south and won this game, I never remember a confident win. Last year, it was a very blocked game, and Dovbyk scored a great goal, and we won 1-0. With Mourinho, there were multiple times where I think we drew 1-1. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that it's a long journey. Maybe it's the fact that the atmosphere there can be quite interesting, or the fact that Lecce compact themselves when they need to compact themselves. Their biggest players, in my opinion, last season it was Kristovic. This year he left. They have Camarda, of course, very young, in my opinion, to call him an incredible player. Their biggest players for me are Banda, fast player, exactly what we would need, and Falcone. Big Roma fan, great goalkeeper, saved the penalty. Jonathan David's penalty, I would have saved that penalty as well, but you get the point. He saves a lot of penalties, and he's a great goalkeeper, also for the likes of the Italian national team. In a hypothetical world where Donnarumma says, no, I don't want to play for you anymore, We've got Vladimiro Falcone covered. No, but look, predicted 11 for this game for me is, I mean, we haven't signed anyone. Elanawi and Ndika are out because they're in AFCON. Mancini and Hermoso are suspended. Dovbyk is a brick wall. Pellegrini's injured. I mean, realistically speaking, there are no other alternatives other than this predicted 11 that I'm going to show you. There is nothing else that Gasperini can invent himself. So whether you like this or not, blame the board, because there are no other solutions. I'm looking at that back three. Okay, I can see Wrench drop down, I can see Tsimikas start, I can see a few remodeling there, but who wants Tsimikas starting? I definitely don't. That back three will be that, because we're missing our main back three, so it has to be that. Our two midfielders, realistically speaking, have to be Cristante and Kone, because our only alternative is Pisilli, and Gasperini isn't trusting Pisilli up to now. What else? Pellegrini's injured, Baldanzi is injured, Bailey's injured, so Sule and Dybala need to start. And then the only question is whether Ferguson or Dovbyk can start. But I prefer Ferguson. I've always preferred Ferguson. I think both of. I think. Look, I respect them. There is never a part of me that. I mean, for some players, yes, but generally speaking, there is never a part of me that. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here is. What I'm trying to say here is that any negative criticisms for me that I throw out at you will never touch the human. I am convinced that all of these players are great human beings outside of the football world. But analysing football between Ferguson and Dovbyk is like a fucking jar of piss and a vase full of crap. So it's like, who's he gonna pick this time? Does he need to pee or does he need to shit? Because if he needs to pee, he chooses Ferguson. If you're a man, and if you need to pee, you stand up. If you need to take a shit, you sit down. What is Gasperini's bladder telling us? Does it need to take a piss or does it need to take a crap? And at time of speaking, it's like choosing between the two depending on how he feels, because I'm picking Ferguson because I prefer Ferguson, and I think Ferguson lately, apart from a few hits or misses, has been more consistent. Dovbyk is also coming off from an injury, but he has no alternatives. So when people criticize the manager and go, I don't like that starting formation, the only player I completely forgot that he was in our team because he never gets picked. El Shaarawy. El Shaarawy can be a good option for this one, but I think Dybala and Sule will start. But other than El Shaarawy, Pellegrini's injured, Bailey's injured, Baldanzi's injured, and that's pretty much all your offensive threat. So you're forced to start that lineup. Our squad depth, now that players are suspended and players are AFCON, is ridiculous. This board isn't signing any players. This board is waiting for Raspadori, as I said yesterday, as if he's prime Johan Cruyff, and move on. Just move on. We're not moving on. The manager needs players. The manager needs players. The manager needs players. This is what he has. This is what needs to start. Again, I think this formation hopefully will be enough. Hopefully it will be enough to beat Lecce, with all due respect. But in the long term, it won't work. In the long term, it won't bring results, as we've seen, because we've dropped out of the top four, because we were losing every big game, and once in a while we have an off day against the small teams as well. But positivity going, new game, new day tomorrow. Hopefully it will bring some positive light, and hopefully it will make us end the 50% mark in a top four position. But we need Juventus to drop points in Reggio Emilia against Sassuolo. What else can I add? I think I've said everything regarding this game. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy that we're playing literally like 48 hours after that Atalanta game, because we need an immediate reaction, and because an immediate reaction in a month like January, where it's full of games, it will, it will also come down to the psyche of these players. So the more games you win, it's 19. Interesting. It's 7:27 at time of recording. 19:27. That's a fun moment. Yeah, I mean, I just looked at my screen and it said 19:27. I thought it was Roma related, and then it was just the clock. Yeah, look, bring it on. I don't think Gasperini's speaking pre-game. I don't blame him because there isn't much that he needs to say. We need to win. We need the 3 points. It's going to be mangy. It's going to be stingy. It's going to be gritty. I'm telling you, if we win, it's going to be another one of those suffering 1-0 wins. But keeping a clean sheet with that defense line would be a good job, because it's not that I don't trust them, but I've just never seen them work together. And it's inevitable that first days for everyone has a bit of a, it's the first time Ziolkowski and Ghilardi play together, and it's the first time that they play in a back three with Celik. So it's like we've never played together before in a game. We need to just understand a bit. So if defensive mistakes happen, I certainly won't crucify Ghilardi and Ziolkowski, because we can't expect them to play like prime Van Dijk immediately. But you get the point. I mean, it's a shaky lineup. It's a shaky defensive lineup, but hopefully it will be enough. I'm not going to keep it too long. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button. 100 likes would be great. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the Lecce match reaction. Forza Roma sempre. Simo out.